Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board. The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees grown in under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm. Animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones. Albeit dark and cold, this vision also feels cozy in its own way, like eggnog or morphine, a much-needed respite from our own world. A pinned postcard reads, "The heat-death scenario, a desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Wirral becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe." This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minimi, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money. It looks a bit like an academic calendar, only much more brutal. So much pain, back pain, neck pain, headaches, carpal tunnel, chest pain. No gym membership can make up for working in this manner. As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region. A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, "See the prod schedule filament for details." The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans: "Call in, tune out," "Wirral untethered," and "Heat death of the universe." The full text reads, "Heat death of the universe is the new black." Another note says, "The biggest advancement in role-playing systems since the 30s. Outside, a cold wind wraps the building. This appears to be some kind of machine with a cube-shaped heart and a wired framework. The keyboard has a rectangular on-off button. A piece of paper still hangs from the printer. This is the Ream Civic radio computer, model RC5120, equipped with a Feld mainframe and a Ream-compatible printer. The machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing fluorescent play and print keys on the keyboard. The hatch on the machine's central compartment is wide open. It's empty like a beehive without its brood. Some cables have been left dangling, disconnected. The filament you have would fit perfectly inside the compartment. Tiles on the cube are still like a smooth draw. The filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking. A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. Oh no, it was already glowing and now it's also making a sound. It's probably some. The static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall.
Good afternoon. Fortress accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. This is East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the production schedule? The filament you have inserted into the reader. Yes. Is that the production schedule? If you are unsure, could you please take a look? Open the hatch on the compartment. Don't touch the wires. A current is running through it, but the core is safe. There's a filament inside. I need to know what it's called. Good. Please repeat the password. No. Still no. I am contractually obliged to protect the privacy of the filament holder for trace accident without filing a word. Now, can you please received? I will register this login attempt.
That sounds bad. A login attempt. Don't worry. Passwords have a way of turning up.
For trace accident, is there anything else I can do for you today? Trace Accident is the company on whose name the terminal you are currently using has been registered to. One moment. Trace Accident SCA produces revolutionary interactive call-in radio games. That's what the catalog says. Any other questions? Good. Please received.
Don't worry.
Trace Accident. Is there any? Yes, I am alive. I am 74 years old and my name is Yvonne. I work as a repeater at the East Indian repeater station. It's my job to know where you are for Trace Accident. As for me, well, I am sitting in my cubicle, surrounded by a wall of radios.
On an island on the river Esperance, a small woman, all skin and bones, sits in a room filled with audio equipment. Thousands of tiny lights are reflected back from her prescription lenses, like stars in the dark.
Now, please tell me if there's anything else I can do for Trace Accident. Thank you, and goodbye.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework and nothing happens. The filament slides out of its glowing nest. Nothing happens. Something's missing. There's no tape in the player. This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker, the mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient. Radio frequencies, it seems. UKV 123.6, UKV 123.7, UKV 123.9, unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced. You think so? The web is comprised of radio stations, all lead back to one red heart, titled the Game Master Frequency. A note says, this one looks like a surveillance program. They must have had massive air width. These things don't come cheap. Whoever decides to call in to a call-in station, it looks like. A list of names under the stations suggests people across 6 Isolas would be playing. Muindi, Insulinda, Kotla. There's no way a little basement studio working here could pull anything like this off. Nothing. It's just lines on marble, an echo from times long gone. Your flashlight slides some of the writing. You see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is covered in frost and the bear's eyes are glowing red. This ice bear is a hyper-carnivore. Be careful. Your words echo in the empty chamber, ringing against the wet floor tiles. The bear keeps staring. A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble as the bear regulates itself. The shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name, Revashole Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge. You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it on the door. A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the fridge. The paper still smells of vanilla and chocolate. The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface. Someone has scribbled, S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe. You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home, ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care, Sulislav. According to the note, someone named Sulislav. Someone who owns a radio computer, one might assume. It does, but who might that be? The note doesn't specify. It's like the production schedule you found. Only this one's an off-site copy. The note doesn't. Are you serious? You sure you don't want to hazard a guess here, detective? Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. Somewhere among the shadows in the cellar. A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in. Inside, a secret room infested with rats, spiders, there is. Inside, it's nothing but gloomy blackness. Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spider webs, rummaging around. You find a number of rusty rifles hidden away. Most of them are ugly and inoperable, but an old Belmagrave rifle, Revolutionary era, prized for its reliability more than its accuracy. The rest are probably Belmagraves too, just too damaged to be identified. A fit service weapon for a fit officer. Too bad it doesn't work. It looks like it's been out of order for years. It means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around Martinez. This is an interesting coincidence. Could prove useful in some way. You don't know how yet, but it might be useful down the road. This is a good find. Really justifies coming down here and looking around. This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top and an electric freezer that appears to be frozen shut. Turning the crank feels oddly satisfying, like stirring your childhood dreams. In the distance, you slip your fingers under the frozen lid, but the ice is too cold for you to get a good grip. A pry bar would come in handy here. No, this is going to need something else, some kind of super pry bar. Don't even try to open it with a regular pry bar. You're just wasting your time. If you want to try again, then you need to have the pry bar in your hand.
Equip the pry bar by going to the Tools tab in your inventory. From there,
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. The echo is so prominent, it's impossible to discern what the voices are saying or what's producing them. Maybe it's coming from somewhere upstairs, or maybe you're just hungover again. Could it be psychological? Because your physical health is fine. This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand. Two cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby. Something close to you dies with a soft electric purr. This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it slowly melting. Turning the crank feels oddly. An old call box with
Just a moment.
She's agitated, judging from the way she keeps pulling at the frayed edge.
And there's no public phones nearby?
The closest phone booth is down the coast. Sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am.
It's fine, I understand. Thank you anyway. I'm glad to see you again, dear. Please don't trouble yourself about me, sweetie. I was just hoping to make a call, but the Whirling's phone line isn't working. The union office probably has a phone, but I can't really get there. Or to the phone booth down the coast. And Gary's phone is dead too. The manager was vague about it.
Why would he be vague about phone problems? This is something to look into later. Ask God, maybe.
To let the young woman who's house-sitting for us know that we may be delayed. Morel, my husband, and our friend Gary were supposed to get back by Monday night, but they're still missing, and I haven't heard from them. I was also hoping she'd heard from Morel. That's just it. This isn't like him at all. He always plans his expeditions so carefully.
A cold breeze hisses through dense thickets of reeds. Something sweet in it, somnolent. A damp chill goes down.
You have more important things to worry about. Just some field work, sweetie. Morel is a highly trained scientist. He and his assistant Gary are studying an extremely rare species of insect. But they should have returned by now. They were just going down the coast across the water lock to set a few traps. He said they'd be back on Monday.
The water lock, that was broken. Could this be it?
Oh, sweetie, it's nothing like that. Gary's as loyal as they come. I trust him with my husband's life any day. Oh my, what happened to the water lock? Oh, sweetie. If it weren't for you, I'd be looking forward to another sleepless night. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Listen, sweetie, I hate to ask, but if your investigation happens to take you to the other side of the coast, please do keep an eye out for my husband. And if you see him, let him know Lena is waiting for him here at the Whirling. He gets so tangled up in his work that he may not know the water lock's been repaired. And it's cold out there. Oh, you're such a dear. Thank you, sweetie. Oh, yes. A zoologist. A cryptozoologist, to be more precise. It's really just a subfield of zoology, one specializing in animal species that are so exceedingly rare that many assume them to be extinct or even fictitious. Searching for such species called cryptids is difficult and often thankless, and frankly, many scientists are too lazy to do it. Universities these days are rarely interested in supporting real research.
Wow, so someone's been a little boring. Yes, my standard liege. Someone's seen all sorts of wild ideas pop off and thought, I'll take the boring one. The regular, please. The brown. No need to be defensive. The regularity, the brownness, the cut and dry have their appeal. A very standard appeal. Of course you do. Maybe some regulations and a usual pistol to go with them. It's official. My lord's coppo type is regular cop. I'll let everyone know. I'll send out a telefax. Yes, the type of cop you are, sire. Think of it as a caste, a class even, a nation of regular law officials that you belong to. It comes, of course, with the usual benefits. Good, of course. To outright declare yourself something does seem a bit too interesting now, doesn't it?
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again.
You're an enthusiastic idiot, but you're still an idiot.
Sorry, sweetie. I can't get into that just now. Gart did say he could deliver a telegram for me earlier, and I should really...
Oh no, she's making excuses. You're not interested enough to talk cryptids with.
Oh dear. I'm not sure where to begin. Well, his expression is slightly grumpy, but his eyes are always bright and curious, like a small boy's. And his palms are quite coarse from all the field work, but he's quite gentle. Oh, well, he's a bit shorter than you, but with a larger frame, and he has longish white hair, usually a bit uncombed. You might say wild, even. One other thing, he'll likely have all kinds of field gear on him, even if he's not out in the reeds, you know, just in case. We'll be celebrating our 16th anniversary this autumn. Not the most numerically satisfying anniversary, but I like the less obvious milestones even more somehow. Via dating agency, I'm ashamed to say. I was looking to get back into the scene after recovering from my accident, and he'd just divorced. We hit it off, and, well, here we are.
She's skipping over some important parts. Perhaps you'll find out more later.
I hope I've been useful. Oh, sweetie, it's fascinating, but I shouldn't bore you with entomological minutiae.
She was about to launch into an impassioned description, but stoppered herself. Why is that?
Well, it's a phasmid, technically, but where other phasmids imitate sticks or leaves, this one's a living reed. Hence it's named the Insulindian phasmid. Perhaps you'll end up co-discovering it with us, officer. Well, some teenagers making out in the reeds saw one. They didn't know what it was, of course, but there was a brief article in a local newspaper about their encounter with a ghost insect.
Interesting. Maybe the phasmid made the teenagers make out.
Of course, most phasmid sightings turn out to be false alarms, but their description matched the Insulindian phasmid perfectly.
Enthusiasm has wiped the worry from her face. Her eyes sparkle behind her glasses.
I suppose I have something of a personal connection to the Insulindian phasmid. All scientists have their little hobby horses. Oh, I doubt it. No one gets into cryptozoology for the money, sweetie. Not at all. Why else would it hide itself so carefully? Yes, it can blend in almost perfectly among the reeds. It's how it stayed.
That's not special at all. Of course it blends in. Most insects do. You don't even have to be a stick insect for that.
Oh dear. I'm afraid I'm not explaining this very well. Morel can explain it all much better. I wish you could hear him describe it. Then you'd understand, I'm sure. Surely things can't be that bad? You know where we are, right? That's right. In a hostel called the Whirling in Rags, to be precise. Yes. And Revashole? Oh my, how would I even begin to tell you? I haven't seen very many other cities personally. Everyone says so. Revashole is a rare jewel. This city used to rule the world, though it has seen better days. Speaking of history, You know what year it is, yes? That's right, dear. How splendid. Here, take this pen. Knowledge should always be rewarded.
Her relief is palpable. She was getting pretty worried about you there, but now she relaxes her shoulders. Outside, spring rain seeps into the cracks in the walls and the cobblestone.
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government? No, sadly not. Revashole is what's called a zone of control under an alliance of foreign powers called the Coalition. We have no government of our own, and what democracy we have is market-driven. Oh dear, and you were doing so well. There aren't really any cops in Revashole, not in the traditional sense. But we should stop for today, sweetie. You look like you need a break. Besides,
She's scared now. She's realized you really are brain damaged.
A defeat, I'm afraid. The people of this archipelago tried to build something new. Something different. The rest of the world didn't like it, so they came and ended it. This was 42 years ago. It has something to do with everything. I really don't know how to explain it better. You were doing quite well up until the end there. It does look like you're having trouble remembering things, history and places. Someone more educated in these things than me? Someone rich, maybe. Wealthy people are educated. But thank you, sweetie. You did make me forget about my worries for a while.
No, you don't have any new winning tactics to get the woman to spill the beans about cryptids.
Can I help you? Got the 20 real? Good. You got the room for the night, but remember, you'll need another 20 real tomorrow.
How could anyone forget, asshole? A thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood. Okay, as you step in, he nods toward the table and says something in a completely foreign language. It must be his name. Garanci. Garanci Quebec. Sounds representative. The man puts his cup down and replies something, his left hand drawing arcs in the air. He looks up at you, then looks away quickly. Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that door. He smiles and bangs his ladle against each of his pots in turn. The man ponders his cooking utensils. You see a heavy...
Can I help you? Another thing. Great. I love those. Yes, and the phone company is taking its sweet time sending someone to fix it. Losers. Who told you that? Fine, yeah, it looked like someone had messed with the wiring. It was shortly after the hanging, but I don't know if it's at all related. Plenty of arseholes around here who aren't murderers. If you do find out who cut the line, though, let me know, so I can forward them the repair bill. Oh yes, that door, sure. There's nothing mysterious about it. It's just a door. No, I don't have a key. I don't know how to get there. And I don't care either. It's not like I've been wondering about it for 10 years. It's just the Frit warehouse, probably. Or some boring storage space with a bunch of old junk and dust. Junk and dust.
He's attempting to maintain an air of indifference. It's absolutely not convincing. He looks at the dust on his finger and wipes it off.
Oh yes, that door. No, or some...
He's attempting to maintain an air of indifference.
Fine, okay, a little. But my job doesn't leave me time for wondering about one locked door in one of the cafeterias I manage. So I haven't opened it. I have cleaned the whole place 100 times over, though, after the animals. And I haven't found a key, so good luck with that. Yes?
You see a heavy steel, the door, the challenge. The steel doesn't even, now you're hanging from the handle. The door, okay, it was a challenge, and you failed. What?
Let me handle this. Detective disorientated. Are you still wondering where you are? This is Martinez, in case you've forgotten. I advise you not to overstay your welcome. No, I am not a gardener. I'm a legal counselor for the Dock Workers Union. So let's get to it. You're looking for Titus Hardy? You think he has information that's Titus. Talk to him, but know this. I'll be keeping an eye on you. No strong-arming, nothing official.
Could this be the Miss Buford that Easy Leo mentioned? The one Mr. Everard sent to law school?
I suggest not wasting time on trivial pleasantries and...
Even though she has excellent control over herself, something moved behind her eyes, in the way she stands, in her face.
You are not here to chat up the legal counsel. You are here to question these men. What you want is of no significance, officer. Don't test your authority. In Martinez, you are no one. Like I already told you, I'm a legal counselor. Do you have hearing problems? What are we going to do to you? The union isn't going to do anything to you.
Goddamn right it is.
If anything, it is the RCM who do things to people. But I am being aggressive? Listen, you moral and unlucky. You are part of a mob, enforcing the unlawful privatization of Revashole. 20 fat men in the Occident are stealing it all.
Fuck yeah.
So ask what you came to ask, or get back to your commanders. Look, a comedian. Do your job, ask your questions, then get out of Martinez.
Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling-height window. The hawthorn branches scrape the glass like bony fingers. There's a little slide panel up there to let some air in. No need to open it in spring. It's still too cold outside.
This is where you say your bit. You hear that, boys? Looks like the RCM sent us a big dick cop.
You don't get to tell me what to do.
You might want to start asking your questions now.
Questions? To hell with that. Get right up in the big dick's face. Physical confrontation.
No. I's here. You got business with my boys. You got business with me.
Yeah! You fuck with the Hardy boys, you fuck with Titus Hardy!
Relax, Dennis. No one is fucking you yet.
Yeah, Dennis, calm down. No one's fucking you, you stupid fuck.
Let Dennis enjoy his fucking, man. We don't mind.
Yeah, you're not even being fucked, Dennis.
Easy, fellas. We got company. Let's see what brings the cop around.
Too late. You already scanned the room. You got a pretty good picture. Of the actors here, you could take another look at the tracks in the mud on the crime scene. Compare it to these guys. The room is silent. Get further in there. Escalate.
What are you looking at, copper? So, you're not just here to swing your big dick. You're here for the pretty boy. A real looker, that one. Stinks like shit, too.
They love him, boss. Spend all day digging around in there. Can't get it.
Just keep talking. Put something on the table. Something incriminating.
Container belt, like we use in the harbor? Because we took it from the harbor where we work. Then we went out back and used it to hang him.
As he speaks, his fists contract, going through the pulling motion again.
We did this together, all of us, until he was dead. That's why there's a container belt around his neck.
There's a catch hidden somewhere. He didn't confess so that you could take them all away. It's too simple.
There is no catch. These 7 honest men have all equally come forth to tell you what happened, so that you don't waste any more of your time. You don't have to answer any of his questions.
I know, Lizzie. Relax. We killed him last Sunday night. Seemed like a good way to end the week.
Known him? We don't associate with scum like that, asshole.
Yeah! Who do you think we are?
Quiet. He came around about 3 weeks ago when that Pines cow first sailed into town. Happy? No. I mean the Pines cow. The stupid-ass cow they sent in to fuck us over. But you know what? Why don't you ask her about the pretty boy? I'm sure she has interesting things to say when you ask her hard enough.
That's enough insinuation for today, Titus. Officer, your interview is drawing to an end. Don't waste your last questions.
Why? 'Cause he was worthless mercenary scum. And he stepped out alive in my town. And he stepped out of line. The kind that shows up when you start a strike. The experienced kind, too. Had Cohoy and Semenine written all over him.
A live grenade. Right here in our bar.
I can't prove it, but I know he was sent by the Wild Pines. They hire merc shit like that. Story of every strike from here to Samara. harassed women, raped one, harassed workers, threatened to kill some as a warning.
There's slight unease in him suddenly. He regrets mentioning the rape.
To kill us all, if we don't open the gates, if we don't let the scabs in, if we don't bend over. And that was before he started coming here.
Yeah, he said it was his favorite joint now. Started coming here every night. Drinking, grabbing girls. Grabbed one of ours mid-karaoke, right there on the stage. Yeah, this girl's on the mic. A beautiful girl, young. Gets into the second verse of Lover Lake. The fucker grabs her legs, starts screaming. Show me your cunt! Why don't you show me your cunt? Then, he gets knocked on the head with a wine bottle. Doesn't even fall down.
Aren't you fucking listening? My man is talking to you. He took care of it. They got the girl out before anything else could happen.
Yeah, me and Eugene got her out. Aren't you fucking listening?
No, you're not getting the name. That's a Martinez matter, and I'm not discussing it with you clowns.
There's nothing you can do for now. He's stonewalling you.
Are you deaf? There will be no singling anyone out. You can't arrest a Hardy boy. Do you think you could do that? Do you think you could arrest them all?
Who do you fucking think does? You keep him the fuck out of this. We have autonomy. It's all on.
When Titus Hardy says he runs the Hardy Boys, he means that in an administrative capacity. On that night, everyone acted as one man. Are you there? Do you think you could do that? Do you...
Who do you fucking think?
It wasn't a question, dickwad. How fucking stupid.
This asshole is worse than... Titus runs the Hardy Boys, Gene.
I think you got your answer.
Yes, there are some administrative differences. But on that night, they all acted as one man.
We hanged him up by his neck until he got...
Didn't they teach you anything at the cop school, idiot?
Look, I'm not gonna play 20 questions with you, capo. I'll say it again. We killed him.
That definitely caught him off guard. In comes number 2 to take care of it.
Yeah, I knocked him out. Came up behind him and clapped him in the back of the head. He went down like a sack of sand.
That's right, lawman. And then we hanged the fuck.
Right fucking here. Eugene already told you that the fuck had started coming.
Yeah, man, weren't you listening?
My fucking elbow, Copper. Samaran boxing style.
Titus is solid as a rock, and so are a few others. But Elaine, who looks like he might be Titus's right-hand man, the least antsy of the bunch. Definitely not his first time being questioned by the police. This little rat-faced fellow is solid too. Always fidgety, yes, but no change there. Him neither. Mostly keeps to his tomato juice, Or whatever he's got there. Tomato juice? Just tomato juice? A single sentence would wear him out. He can't take the length of the questioning. Keep it going long enough, and he'll crack.
No. Of course he's having trouble breathing. Just look at how fucking fat.
Fuck off, Shanky. Angus is a powerful guy. All muscle.
Keep your eye on this powerful guy. Sooner or later, he's going to break like a piece of twig.
And fuck you too, Copper. Picking on Angus like this. We're done with this schoolyard shit.
This one is a stone wall. You won't get more out of them about the night of the murder. Not yet.
Like what, Copper? How many people have you sent to the Shays? Ever felt remorse?
Or send them to Reunion to rot. For 20 years. For life. Oh, so you are just a simple, well-meaning man, eh? Ever been in solitary?
The fucker got what was coming to him. Our conscience is clean.
Nothing. Your investigation here is done. You should go.
Yes. Run home. Lonely. Rent a cop. Real law officials are done with you. You're lucky you didn't get a beat.
Forget about their games. You've mapped out the characters. Reading the footprints in the yard should be easier now.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here. Again, just get the dead guy.
Good one, Titus.
Yeah, lawman. Why don't you?
Not in the arresting mood?
A fearful readiness, like an electrical charge. The little rat-faced man reaches into his sleeve. There's a knife in there. Some of the others reach for their belts. Guns are stocked between the belts. 3, maybe 4 firearms. Although Fat Angus might be just pulling up his pants. Not sure.
Wise move. You made the right choice there. Now make another one. And about fucking time.
Establish authority. Yes. Authority. Feverish thoughts race through your mind. Did you already try the gun thing? I hear the gun thing is excellent and has great results.
The fuck are you talking about? Gun? No one's gonna let you wave a gun around here.
And what exactly is it you've been doing that's so goddamn special? Shitting yourself in front of us. All the while talking racist shit. Don't think we aren't watching, fascia. People here trust us. We're getting complaints. So you keep saying, and I do want to believe you, but it's getting harder and harder. Didn't Carly say something?
Yeah. Callie said you've been hanging around the daycare center. In the bushes, man. By the jungle gym. Trying to set up some weird field trip. To your station. That's in your home.
I can believe that. That rings true to me.
Oh my God, not this again. No, your cheeks are burning. Please stop hanging around the jungle gym. Whatever you're doing there is making you look awful, and it's not helping you with these guys at all.
I've got nothing to say to...
The door is closed. This door, as you hold the metal, you sense the warmth. Left still, nothing. You should punch a fucking hole in it. The murmur in your... A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. The fan stands. The door is still. You should punch a fucking hole in it. The murmur in your... This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner. Only the red cable is plugged. An electric sizzle. The room is slightly quieter now. The bear's eyes are dead and empty. A thick layer of coal dust covers a hollow ring echoes through the furnace. Your toe hurts. Bent metal, broken glass. You are the destroyer, the bane of inanimate matter. Kudos. This old fire. An iron safety curtain curves before your eyes, folded like a bellows. It covers half the room, blocking the way into a colossal industrial chimney. This is directly above the central furnace in the cellar. The voices probably came from here. What an odd thing to do. Nothing happens. Still nothing. Those curtains prove to be surprisingly sturdy. Your fist hurts now. There must be another way to wake up whoever is in there. Maybe you should talk to the lady in the bookstore. Ask what's going on. Tiles on the cube, like a smooth draw. The speaker.
Good afternoon. Please repeat. Is this good? Proceed.
Don't walk.
Votre accident. Thank you.
Tiles on the filaments. The barbell waits patiently on the...
You broke down the back door, the wards, the door. It's all gone now. Dark psychic energy leeching onto my shop. I suppose it's all over now. I guess there's no escape. Just a door? This place is cursed, Detective. They don't call it the doomed commercial area for nothing. Just look at the sheer amount of companies that have failed in this house. I hope you're happy now. Happy that you've ruined everything. Now that you've broken the door, the curse is coming to get me.
Host Almighty, she prays. Guard me and my honest business venture from the curse that lurks behind the door. Blessed be your name.
Of course you didn't. You're nothing but a policeman. All right. You know what? I'm willing to let you investigate the doomed commercial area. We are set on the path. There's little else to do.
Her facade has dropped. Now you see the curiosity behind.
But before we go on, tell me, did you encounter the malignant entity? Yes, the malignant entity that lives inside the chimney. It takes the shape of a woman, a witch probably. I've suspected that she knows more about the curse than she lets on ever since I first saw her. Yes, I've heard that. It's enormous. She has barricaded herself behind some metal security curtains upstairs. God knows what she's doing there. Some unnatural magic, I assume. You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building. And do return to me after you've talked to it. I'm quite anxious.
You should get back to the furnace. Make some noise.
Okay, but please, only a few questions. You wouldn't want to disturb the spirits. It's not good to talk about the curse, not in detail. The negativism, it's dangerous. Talking about the void wraiths angers them.
Such wraiths may prove a formidable enemy. Suit up.
The curse is so much worse than you could imagine. It's a disease, eating at the very foundation. It's the curse of financial distress, of ruin and bankruptcy. It's not just that, officer. We're dealing with something supernatural here. It's the cacodemons feeding off bad business practices and disappointing income. There's something wrong with this building, I can tell you. Ever since I arrived, I've sensed an eerie, lingering presence, as if I was unwanted here. It must be these very spells and wards of protection that keep me safe from all the ill and wicked deeds. Yes, I've contacted numerous parapsychologists and even a pair of Simonese mediators. They provided me with the wards. The wards help to keep the doom at bay and protect us against the darkness that lies further in the building, even though now I fear it's not enough. Oh, this? No, it's a special Himian amulet, blessed by desert pygmy shamans, with a spell of compulsion. There are numerous spells cast throughout the store. I had the books anointed with a different inducement spell, for example. It's guaranteed to boost sales 15%. Yes, the Simonese are very crafty and their wards are extremely powerful. Lesser wards simply won't do here.
The woman looks aloof, her features much softer. Occasionally she glances at her daughter's silhouette. As before, this is directly above the... A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. Something breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above.
Hello? Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a safety curtain on the second floor. I'll open it.
You hear a low rumble upstairs. The sound of a curtain being pulled aside.
Hello, I'm Nia. Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Melius. So what kind of dye are you looking for? Yes, Amelia is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these. Mostly, They just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking. Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind? I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
As she speaks, her bone-like fingers fiddle with a ring. Her bones light, but her hands strong.
Of course, I can see that. I just thought you were a police officer looking for dice. How else can I help you then? How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition.
She doesn't let it show, but there's anger in there. She doesn't like jewelers, thinks they're a mob.
Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there. Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers? They're nice people. We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know. But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus.
When she arrived here, there was no room anywhere else. She must have known the other businesses.
More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
Rats scuttle in the dark rooms, under the abandoned blow dryers and dusty mannequins. Cobwebs cover rotors and radio computers alike. So much failure.
Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me. I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion. That's right. I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet. You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Center project. That explains why you can call the whirling from the intercom, albeit I doubt that anyone responds.
If the whirling is part of the same building, then it's part of the doomed commercial area. The darkness of this place is there, too.
Right. It used to be a gaming arcade. This is an ancient failure, before my time. I'm not surprised, however. My advice? Don't base your business on a fad. Hypnotism, floriography, trick-track, especially pinball. It can't be true. They don't work here anymore. They've been gone for years. Are you sure it was Slipstream SEA? Was it a woman? Maybe it was Plaisance from the bookstore. Tricentennial Electrics? It used to be a major electric company 100 years ago. Are you sure it wasn't just some kids playing a prank on you?
Whatever happened, keep your cool. It's probably better to admit that it was a harmless prank.
A prank is more likely, no? Oh, the kids these days. We were just one of them, and now they're terrorizing us. No solidarity. Sure, I'm listening. I'm pretty sure I'm listening. Oh boy, the fabled Revashole ICT. You're in for a treat here. The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas. There was really just one, and it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
Fritta does the same thing.
Employing silky teenage girls is a widespread practice, yes. Unfortunately, they always come in packs. I'm talking about acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the shop. At least that's what happened with Revashole, and they already had the bear. The bear. Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. Eventually, Revashole ICT lost the price war to its rival, Glacé 5000. Glacé 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges. Maybe, because the taxidermist who made the bear definitely wasn't. Doing his job, I mean. He said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. Called it Megatherion.
Scary, but cool.
It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life, by telling you to do more drugs, mostly.
A wise and noble beast, guiding you toward the land where the streets are paved with drugs.
Very good. You shouldn't do them. You're a police officer after all. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire.
Little sparkling embers under the window. Outside it's light. Light scatters from the low-hanging cloud cover. There's always the threat of snow.
Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? I've been here for a long time. Fortress Accident, the radio game studio. They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs. They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules. The usual, they ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time. Well, I did hear them talking at times. They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest. Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic, and to show up to work on time.
Showing up to work on time is hard. No, scratch that. Showing up to work at all is difficult, especially if you've been drinking.
Still, not everyone is going to make it. That's the nature of the game.
The result is 1 on a 20-sided die.
Anything else? They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashkor or wherever he is. Sure, it's illegal, but it's not exactly anything extraordinary in business. Besides, Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around.
Maybe you could make a sword out of one. No, wait, forget it. It would take too long.
There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came. Yeah, the atelier didn't know it either. They produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier, which of course caused the price to skyrocket. And, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection. Really? Anyway. You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs.
But what drugs exactly?
He got high on some weird taxidermy chemicals. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. Eventually, they caused him to lose control of his bladder. The smell was awful.
Even you can probably do better than that.
Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be. Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was... And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own. It's a Sub Rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it.
What does she mean, to get off on it?
People do that. I believe the ICP got them. They have a special division that deals In any case, I don't think it's your job to worry about what happens on Milius. I probably shouldn't have even mentioned it. Things like that are better forgotten. It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's boxing club, a community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime. A kind man from Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym, as his way of giving back. Kuno. Who's Kuno? Oh yes, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth. Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard. I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid. It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag...
You should have known it.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since. Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word.
You wouldn't like it either. The others would laugh at you. It's not about the haircut. It's about the confidence.
Me neither. I just want it off my face. Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else? I'm listening. Good. I hope it... I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true. Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energies spared her somehow? Alright, but it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex. And then there is me. I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea.
It's because she's in cahoots with the demons.
I was just about to ask, what do you think? Do you think the curse is...
The jig is up. The she-demon knows you've uncovered her true identity.
Exactly. Truth is always so disappointingly mundane but I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with today?
You feel nothing. If anything, it's uncomfortably warm in here. She has begun to idly clean one of her carving tools with a dirty kerchief. The tool's sharp edge shining in the light of her desk.
Nothing really. I didn't know him. I'm sorry, Detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window. It's an odd profession, making dice for people, but I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home. I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness. It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone. Well, there's always something going on in the world. During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk work, but I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid.
She nods.
Anything else, officer? Of course. Tell me what you have in mind. I think I have just the right one for you.
Police colors.
You're a police officer, right? Here, catch. They're a gift from me.
Mr. Smooth moves. You snatch the dice out of the air with one hand, just like you're in a movie.
What are the odds? The red one is made of bloodstone with a lapis lazuli inlay, and the blue one is the inverse. I believe these dice are your lucky charm, officer.
She winked back at you. Can you believe it? You truly are Mr. Smooth Moves.
You definitely need luck in Martinez. Was there anything else? Of course. Tell me what you have in mind. A star that fell from the firmament? Those cost more than 7 real. Are you sure? Yes, you definitely have the proper attitude. How about a pair of 100-sided dice, made of ivory and inlaid with lodestone, a naturally occurring magnet, to complement your 10 real, and I can get these ready in 8 hours. It's true, magnetic dice are definitely different. When rolled together, the magnetic fields of the pips interact with each other to push and pull on each other as they're rolled, just like all magnetic personalities do. Maybe you have some other ideas for dice? How about an amber die? Who told you amber was cheap? It's beautiful, really, and has been treasured since the ancient times. For 7 real, I'll craft you a 13-sided die from piece of amber with a fossilized insect. It's perfect for those who can't seem to let go of their past. I had a feeling. Maybe you have some other ideas for dice? What do you mean by cursed? Alright, how about I surprise you? Come back in 8 hours with 7 real, and maybe you have some other— Ah, yes, fortress accident. It's too bad they never finished The Wiro Untethered die is a variation of a standard role-playing die, only instead of plants it uses motifs of ice and death, and loss of course. I'm thinking something made from alligator jawbone, cast in black resin. The reptile bone is as white as ice and dead as, well, death. For 7 real, I could have it ready in 8 hours. It's an icositetrahedron, a 24-sided die that can produce results for 2-sided, 3-sided, 4-sided, 6-sided, and 12-sided die with a single roll. Technically, you can also use it for many other sizes, but you may need to reroll results. Untreated bone is porous and prone to chipping. Cast it in something hard like resin though, and voila, it's perfect. Maybe you have some other idea? A normal die? I'm a novelty dice maker. I don't make normal die. Polyhedral dice. Dice that have more than 4 sides. Octahedrons, trapezohedrons, dodecahedrons. Come on now, be a little creative. No need to rush. Take a look around, see if anything inspires you.
The Jamrock Shuffle. In a way, yes, you are treasure hunting. Most officers from Precinct 41 do what is called the Jamrock Shuffle, cracking open containers. Most of them are from Jamrock or Coal City, the poorest parts of Revashole, that also overlap with the network of royal catacombs called Le Royaume, just beneath the streets. As children, you would all go underground, hoping to find treasure, and come back with a rat's tail or a used needle. That playful curiosity must still be in you. Who knows? Wow, you work hard. Oh, yes, you hustle. You're a provider. It's tough out there, but you keep it real and provide. Look at yourself. You're a human pedometer. You must have walked 200,000 steps down cracked asphalt, mosaic, sand, and linoleum after you re-emerged. That is the sign of a hustler who never gives up. The world is harsh and people are evil. You didn't make it that way, and you won't let it break you. That's just what it's like, life and death. But you got gills on your side, baby. Got those black papers with the faces of the... It ain't easy, but you do it, day in and day out. You didn't make the rules, but you won't lose. You're a cop, and a sprinter, and a money printer. Sure. And has it been easy? Is life easy? Have you not gone into cardiac arrest? Are you not about to have an anxiety attack or shoot your... Are you rich? That's right. You work harder than anyone. You almost rode yourself to the grave and you're still practically a hobo. Why is that? Because of the taxes. G-Man's got his jam-covered sticky fingers in your pocket, stealing from you every time you buy, sell, walk, every time you wipe your ass. They got their direct and their indirect modes of taxation. Sales tax, excise duty, extraction tax, alimony, one tax that doesn't even have a name. Plus there's the stuff, people in other countries, 98% of all your money. What are you not sure about? They're milking your nipples till they bleed. Can't you see? Aren't you sick and tired of having bloody nipples? What are you, a racist? Don't be a racist. Be a cool immigrant, ultra-liberal free market advocate. Ride or die. Keep it street.
What have you found? And also, do buy the books. There may be teachings in them. A novelty dice maker? Well, spit it out. Why does she need the dice? For some kind of sorcery? Sometimes they use the ankle bones of sheep. I don't understand. If it's not her, then where is the source of the doom? How did she explain the curse?
She's squeezing on the pendant too tight. Just don't say you don't have any answer yet. The uncertainty is killing her.
Too many inconsistencies. What kind of talk is that? I am not doing as well as it looks like I am. I only have my Simone's wards to thank for the protection. Yes, because her business consists of the psychic leech that's been... I see that you've fallen for her manipulation, Detective. The investigation is over. Thank you for nothing. Please do buy some books or be on your way.
Wow. Total psychic collapse, anger and loneliness keep this woman moving through the waking hours. The shop around you feels ancient suddenly, damp and saturated by the coastal air. The books are rotting. A great cold lives here, and there too, 1,200 meters away on the urban coast. The dark shape of a church is reflected on the water, calling.